Welcome back, guys, to Steven's DIY Auto Review.
All right, guys, and we are back. We're back in this 2015 Dodge Durango Limited. So we're going to go ahead now and tackle that fuel tank. As you guys can see with our smoke test, we have some type of leak coming from the gas tank area, the top of it. So we don't know for sure if it's the gas tank itself, whether it's a EVAP line that wasn't connected fully. So if you guys don't know, we did a fuel pump on this a while back. So we did have the tank down and we were in the system. And this is where it was my fault that I overlooked. I was pretty confident that everything was sealed up, connected back, everything was good to go. But it's always good to, that would have been good to do an EVAP test right there on the fuel tank, I should say, to ensure we have no leaks to prevent something like this. So that's an oversight, learn from my mistakes. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to pull down that fuel tank. We're going to put some smoke in it, see if we see any leaks, and then inspect all the connections, the wire harnesses, and the EVAP lines that are running to the tank. So we're going to be doing that. I'm not sure if I'm going to film a lot of how to get the tank down, because I've already filmed most of that when I recorded the the fuel pump replacement. So I think we're just going to strictly tackle this, get the tank down, and then we'll bring you guys online to see that and to see where the leak is. While we're down there, we're going to go ahead and replace the fuel pressure sensor, the fuel tank pressure sensor. We already have it. It's something, it probably doesn't need to be replaced. It doesn't need to be replaced. Let's just put it that way. But this is the second time I'm going in there, and it's a pretty big job. So we're just going to go ahead and pop that sensor in anyway and just get it over with. So I showed you guys the eSIM switch, and I don't know how much of that I'm actually going to keep on the recording or on the video, because I don't really like it. I think I approached it the wrong way as in delivering it to you guys. I don't want you guys to just think you got to just go back there and just pop it out and pop in a new one and hopefully it works. So there's also some checks that you can do. If you cannot command it on, if you have a scan tool where you can command it closed, and you try commanding it closed and it doesn't go closed, obviously that's could be a wiring problem or a bad part. And what you could do with that is you can make sure that you have your powers and grounds at the eSIM switch. If you have power and grounds, another thing you could do to check the integrity of the switch itself is go unhook the hose that leads from the filter or the vent filter to the eSIM switch, blow into the eSIM switch or blow some air into the eSIM switch, and see if your voltage doesn't change on your usually it's a 5-volt reference, it might be a 12-volt reference. If you blow on it and you don't get a change in voltage, more than likely your switch is stuck open. So hopefully you guys know that, understand that you want to make sure it's not the part before you just swap it out. Normally if it was this is a special case, this is our vehicle. If it was a customer's vehicle, we'd approach it a lot differently. I just don't have the time. So for me, buying the switch and just having it on standby, because we knew we weren't getting the other switch to close. And that was a problem. We couldn't technically see a leak. Now, we could have maybe tried to force it closed and just keep it closed until we could actually find the leak. But the whole point of getting the new switch and popping it in, they're fairly cheap, was to be able to get it to close enough to where we could seal the system and be able to potentially find a leak if that was the problem. And that was the case. We were able to find the leak, and now we have a direction to go. That could explain exactly why your switch is not closing. That it could explain why we have all these different phenomenons going on, which is the switch not closing, which in turn is making the fuel tank pressure sensor read negative pressure all the time. So there you have it. Maybe I'll show you guys. I don't want to keep on blabbing about it. Let's go ahead and tackle that fuel tank. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so we got our tank out of our vehicle. Sorry I didn't show you guys, but if you guys want to see how to remove it, then just check out my other video with the fuel pump replacement. And we don't even have to smoke test this in order to find out exactly what's wrong. We have an issue right here where our main fuel pump is. As you can see, it's not secure or seated here. So I think I found your problem, sir. That is our problem. I don't know how that happened. I sure as hell did not put it in like that. So we're gonna take the ring off, check it, see what happened. Hopefully nothing's broke, and we'll get it put down. Once we get it secure, we're gonna run smoke through it and make sure we don't have any other leaks. And then we're gonna come over here and change out our fuel pressure sensor. So let's get to it. Okay, guys, so I was very curious about what we found on the fuel tank, and just to clarify, it was the auxiliary pump where we found that it was not seated properly. And I was curious about it, so I happened to go back to the video that I did of the fuel pump, because I did remove the auxiliary pump as well. And I noticed in that video, right before I put the fuel tank back underneath the car and bolted it up, I had actually left the auxiliary fuel pump exactly like that. So I literally caused this EVAP system leak this whole time. And it was something that we've been dealing with for a while. I just never got around to it. And ultimately, yeah, I ended up causing the leak and causing this check engine light and causing this issue. So it's important to note to always check and recheck your work before you put everything back together. I could have swore that I rechecked my work, but obviously I didn't. I was able to find that in the video, and if you guys go and check out the fuel pump video, I'm sure you guys will see it. If you guys do happen to go over there and check out that video, drop me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know you guys saw it. And so yeah, guys, I'm calling myself out on it. I screwed that one up. I'm really glad it wasn't a customer's car, because I would definitely be eating that cost. The only thing I had to eat on this cost was my time and unnecessary parts. But that's why you test, don't guess. So anyway, guys, back to the video. Okay, guys, so we cleaned up the mating surface, put our gasket back on, and put our lock ring back on. We used this tool here. I highly recommend this tool. This is from DP Tool. It's an off brand, but it gets the job done. This was fairly cheap. I think probably $10. You can get a name brand one. I think Lyle has one, but it's like 40-50 bucks. So this did the job for me. So now what we're gonna do is, we got our port plugged here. We got our other port plugged here, and now we're gonna shoot some smoke through it just to make sure we don't have any other leaks, and just to make sure that doesn't happen again, which is really odd. So let's get to smoking this baby. Okay, guys, so we're gonna smoke the system, and I almost forgot to fill up where it attaches to your filler neck. So we're gonna turn on smoke here. Make sure we have smoke coming out, and we do, as you can see there. So now we're just going to insert it into the system. Can you come over here and hold this in here? And then we're just gonna look over and make sure we have no smoke coming out, especially around this one. And you could hear the pressure building inside, which is also going to be good because we want to make sure that this is not going to pop. So we look like we're doing pretty good. So I'm thinking that was our only issue right there. We have nothing else. Everything's still plugged up. So I say, guys, we are good to go. All right, guys. So here's our old pressure fuel tank pressure sensor. All you got to do is just press these two tabs outward, pop this out of its little hole here, and then you just pull up. I just used a flathead screwdriver on the side to help me pry it up. So we have a new genuine OEM Mopar part. Here's the part number 0050146363-001. Actually, I lied. That's not the part. Part number is the 685256988AA. Made in Poland. What do you know? So we're going to go ahead, get this popped in. We're going to clean this up a little bit. Take a shot back, clean up all that dirt. Hopefully it doesn't fall in. Put our new one in, and then what we're also going to do, just to play it safe, we're going to put more air in it or more smoke in it, just to make sure everything is good to go. And then we're going to get this put back, drive it, and see what happens. Okay, we got it put in, and now we're going to go ahead, smoke it again, make sure that we have no smoke coming out. One last time before we bolt this up. And because we took the pressure switch off, I want to make sure that we're not going to get any kind of leaks from there now, since we touched it. I'm really curious about what happened here. Yeah, I'm very curious. I know 100% that I did not put it in like that. What I'm thinking is maybe we had a problem with maybe the purge valve, because we did replace it because we had a crack in it. So maybe at one time, either the purge valve or the system got clogged somehow, and it built up so much pressure in here that it just blew that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So it doesn't look like we have any pressure coming out, or smoke coming out. So I would say, guys, we are good to go. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get this thing put back in. All right, guys, so we are back. So we finished up putting everything back together. Now we're going to look at live data using our gear wrench dongle. We're going to go ahead and turn the car on. All right, now let's look at see, where is it? Purge duty cycle. Keep scrolling through here. Fuel tank vapor volume. And we got to be careful because we don't have a lot of gas, which was nice when we took down the tank. Come on, where is it? Fuel tank pressure. Guess we could just look at those pits for now. And as you can see, our purge mode is off. Therefore, our switch is fine to be open. And look at that. We can already see a difference in the fuel tank pressure. And like I said, we're really low on gas, so we got to watch it. So we're just going to sit here and wait until we see everything switching off and on perfectly. We already see a big difference already in the fuel tank pressure. We don't have that negative pressure. Now, I'm almost certain we had no other issue other than that leak, other than that fuel tank where the ring was closed on the... Okay guys, so got some gas in it. As you can see, the ESIM switch is closed just like it should be once we got the car running, so that's good. Already seeing good signs. So we're just going to monitor it, make sure everything is looking a-okay, and then we should be good to go. So we'll bring you guys right back. So as you can see, purge duty cycle is 28%. Our valve is closed. It's looking good, guys, looking good. All right, guys, so I'm pretty happy with what we're seeing here on the scan tool. So we are good to go. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully you guys liked this video, and if you did, please go down there and hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. So anyway, guys, there you have it. If you guys like this video, make sure to go down there and hit that like button. If you guys would like to be notified when I put out another video, make sure to hit that bell notification. And as always, guys, please subscribe to my channel for more informational videos and DIY projects. And until next time, guys, have a good one.